Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at some of my favorite camera gear that I've accumulated over the years. And ever since making that switch from digital photography to primarily shooting film, obviously a lot of my gear has changed. I'm the type of person that just loves tinkering with, backpacks and organization and just figuring out all these cool little trinkets that make life better. And film photography, of course, is really niche and specific. Solved a couple of problems that are also very niche and specific. So at the end of this video, I'll share all of those little secret bonus tips for you and share some of these creative and funny solutions that I've come up with. So I've already been a big fan of Brevity and actually already own one of their previous models of backpacks called the Brevity Jumper. They're more or less the exact same bag other than the style of the top and closure. And this bag features a magnetic closure, which makes closing it a lot easier. And to open it, you just pull down. Just like that. This bag is chock full of pockets, which I absolutely love. Specifically, this passport pocket has been one of my favorites. And what I love about it is that it doesn't necessarily look like a camera bag. It's somewhat discreet, looks really simple and clean and minimal, but I like it because it doesn't draw a lot of attention. The entire bag is weather resistant, so it should be able to handle some light rain. That said, if you need to, the entire thing is also machine washable. So that is a huge, huge plus. And some quick notes that I'll go over that I really enjoy about this bag. Plenty of zippers. It's got a luggage pass-through sleeve. It's got side access for your camera, a water bottle pouch on the other side, which also has this extra strap in case you're carrying a tripod. It's advertised to fit a 14-inch laptop. However, I can fit my 16-inch MacBook Pro if I give it a little squeeze. It's not perfect, but technically it still fits. Enough about the bag. Let's talk about the goodies inside of the bag. So generally when I'm shooting, I'll have two different camera setups. One that is a medium format film camera setup and another that is a 35mm camera setup. So between my medium format cameras, I have a Fuji GSW 690 Mark II, GS645S, and a Mamiya 645 Super. I've honestly loved them all equally, and I can't really decide which one's my favorite, but lately I've really been enjoying the Fuji cameras, especially because they are rangefinders. Due to them being rangefinders and having a fixed lens, it does prevent me from bringing more lenses with me, and therefore does save on some weight because of that. And as I mentioned, I'll usually be bringing both medium format cameras and 35mm cameras. And the reason for that is the medium format cameras are kind of what I'm truly seeking to make art with. But then in tandem with it, I'll also bring a 35mm point and shoot to act basically as what my phone would do, kind of just capturing things for memories. And the cameras of choice would be either my Ricoh R1, which is an automatic point and shoot, or if I'm feeling like I want to be a lot more economical with the film that I'm using, I'll use a half frame camera like my Kodak Ektar H35N, which in the name implies that it is a half frame camera, allowing me to take 72 exposures instead of 36 that I would get out of my Ricoh or, most other 35mm cameras. And the usual film that I'm using for 120 is Gold 200. Now, the main reason that I shoot on this film is specifically because of how cheap it is. Film has gotten expensive, as we all know. I am blown away at how affordable Gold is compared to, say, something like Portra. So yeah, compared to most films, Gold is almost half as much, and I feel like I'm getting pretty impressive image quality out of it. And since I'm the one who's developing and scanning all of my film at home, I already have a ton of creative control out of what I'm gonna get out of that final image. I can't really notice a huge or significant change. For me, shooting with Portra isn't worth almost twice as much the cost when I can get 90% of the way there with Kodak Gold. I consider film photography a numbers game, increasing the amount of shots I can get, increasing how much film I can go through. I'd rather stretch out my dollar with this more budget film, even though I actually really like it. My tripod of choice is none other than the Peak Design Travel Tripod. Wowzers, is this thing overpriced? Oh my goodness, is it so expensive? I can see most tripods sitting around that $300 to $400 price point if they were a video tripod, meaning, they've got oils and special mechanics that allow you to pan and tilt with that fluid drag. And for this being a photo tripod, ouch, that price tag really hurts. I do really enjoy how easy it is to travel with, and I don't have too many complaints about it other than the price. Not to mention, you can spend almost double that if you're trying to get the carbon fiber version. Sheesh. Okay, so we've covered a bunch of film cameras and film accessories. Now, obviously, because of this YouTube channel, I need to film my videos with something. So for the most part, I'm actually filming on my phone. This is just an iPhone 13 Pro, not even upgraded that much, but the best camera is the one that you have with you. So sometimes I'll make the sacrifice of bringing more film photography gear and less gear to film that photography. So if I'm ever doing anything travel related, I'll probably just film on my iPhone. And what I've been doing is throwing a little mask on top and a filter. And I kind of like leaning into that lo-fi look for some of those videos. And in tandem with shooting on my phone, I actually use this Insta360 X3 camera. And what I've been doing with this is attaching it to the selfie stick and giving it some little tripod feet. And because it's a 360 camera, I can reframe the shot from any angle afterward. And so for some videos, I'll actually use this to film the behind the scenes portions. The quality is something to be desired, especially as I've added this little protective dome. It's really cut down on the sharpness of the shot. So I'm contemplating just taking these off anyway and just risking it. But this has been really helpful in filming those behind the scenes for these YouTube videos. And what I'm currently filming on is my Canon R5 with a 15 to 35 millimeter lens. And here on top, I've got these wonderful and incredible filters by Freewell. So these filters are by Freewell, and they are very, very convenient and very nice to have. Now, Freewell did send these to me, but did not have a say in what I think about them. I will, of course, share a link below. Now, here's something that I genuinely love about them. Their entire system is completely magnetic. Screwed on currently is like a placeholder ring, which then allows me to take any of their other filters and magnetically attach the, oh my gosh, okay, that's too dark. Okay, we'll do a -3. And yeah, look at that. Just magnetizes right to it. Anyway, these are incredible, and if you know anything about filmmaking, it's important to keep that shutter speed slow, and having a system like this allows you to film with the appropriate settings, especially when you're in bright daylight. And to carry everything, you've probably noticed these Peak Design clips absolutely everywhere. This has been my camera strap of choice. This is the Peak Design Slide. It works with all of their anchors, which I have on literally all my cameras. You'll notice a theme here, but this specific camera strap allows you to extend it or retract it to any length, making it really easy to hold multiple cameras at a time, which is often what I'm doing. So I actually have 2 of those straps. So let's go ahead and dive into those very niche solutions for those really niche problems that I mentioned before. When I first purchased my first ever medium format film camera, I needed one of these. And when you don't have one of these, you know how silly it is to get one of these stupid plastic holders that cost nothing. It costs pennies. And yet, if you don't have one, you're screwed. Knowing this, I always have to carry an extra with me, just for peace of mind. But what I've done is I've taken some hair elastics and wrapped them around this spool. Because another problem that I've also run into, typically with 120 film, after you're done, you bind it by licking on the paper, wrapping it around, and relying on that to glue it all together, hold it firm, and protect your film from being exposed again. I truly can't count the number of times that the paper was either not there, fell off, or wasn't sticky. Ever since then, I've been carrying these hair elastics to wrap around to hold that proper tension. And these are so great. They can never be unsticky, you know? That's one of my film photography hacks for you. Now, along with those very specific niche random problems, here's another one. Here I have an extra film canister, and if you're a film photographer, you have a bazillion of these too. And what I've done is I've tried to repurpose this, and here I have extra batteries for my cameras. These batteries are very uncommon. I mean, not hard to find online, but they would be hard to find if you were out in the wild or out on a shoot, and you never know when your batteries are gonna die. Here I have extra batteries. Now, this pickup has been one of my favorites as well. This is a light meter by Reveni Labs, and I apologize if I'm not saying that correctly. This is just an independent creator person from Canada who's literally 3D printing so many amazing, cool products. But yeah, this is a light meter. As you can tell, It's tiny. It's got a built-in hot shoe mount, so you can put it on any camera. Out the front is a little sensor that can detect the lighting, and back here on the back is a very bright, very readable LCD screen that makes it very easy to tell what you're doing or pushing. Just a handful of small buttons on the top. They are tiny, but they are not hard to push. And this has been one of my favorite pickups, especially for those cameras where I know that I can't trust their internal light meter. This just makes it so easy to get a quick reading, and so far has worked really reliably. And on the topic of light meters, so whenever I'm in a pinch, it's always a good idea to have a light metering app as a backup, and I've really been enjoying this one called Lightmate. This is the app, and as you can see, there's almost nothing on it. There's no particular reason that I gravitate to this one other than just for aesthetic reasons. It's very minimal, simple. You just change everything by sliding back and forth, and I just like how clean it looks. Now, another piece of gear that I've really appreciated having is this. And this is a tiny little keychain tool that has a flathead screwdriver on one side, and the Allen wrench is perfect for all those pesky little Peak Design plates. Let's be real, when are you gonna have an Allen key with you? Probably never. How many do I have at home? Like 15. It's tiny, it's always with me. Highly recommend. This is actually just the bag from my H35, and in it is what I call my pano kit. So if you saw my last few videos, I took a trip to the coast of Oregon, and on it, I was shooting with my Texas Leica, doing some 35mm panoramics. In this kit, I've got some Scotch tape, and I've got these plastic adapters which allow me to put the 35mm film into 120 cameras. I've got an extra canister of 35mm film so that I can load it from one roll into a blank empty roll. And this lovely pickup, which is a TSA approved pair of scissors. And having this is nice, obviously, for having to trim the film after I'm done using it, because in the past I would literally just tear it, and that felt like a crime. But it is nice that these are TSA approved, so I can fly with these. And if it's helpful, I can make a video explaining on how to do that process. Speaking of flying and TSA, here I've got this lead-lined bag to protect my film while I'm flying. So there seems to be a lot of debate on how much X-rays can damage your film. I personally have had my own rolls of film completely wrecked by airport scanners. I've erred on the side of caution to always have this bag with me as a backup for if TSA is not willing to do a hand check. It's not perfect, but it's probably better than absolutely nothing. I've also heard that the canisters for 35mm film do a pretty decent job at protecting the film, but that obviously isn't the case with 120 as it's completely exposed. Of course, I'm sure a lot of this will adapt and change as I continue to progress and grow as a film photographer. I've left some affiliate links in the description below, so if you would like to support me at no cost to you, thank you so much for using them. Please comment down below if you have any cool niche things that have been super helpful to have with you. I'd love to add to my repertoire of gear. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.